thing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. My name's Car with my BFF Keyan and Mr. Bitcoin Pleb Deb himself with today's top story.
What's up?
How's your week, Austin?
It was okay.
Yeah?
Okay. You know, given the story that we're about to talk about, it was a pretty good week.
A lot of learning.
Yeah.
That's good.
Did this happen this week?
Well, this week and last week, it has been a sustained pain in my ass.
Yeah. Coop, how was your week?
It was good. I think it was good. Yeah, that's my.
good.
Yeah, how about yours?
I feel like I'm doing media stuff every day.
You're too popular.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
What does it feel like
I'm
to be really popular?
I'm definitely trying to not be popular because I've removed myself from different places. So I'm trying to go as little as you need to be out in public, and it's not working.
I think that's what, Leonardo DiCaprio probably says the same thing, Car.
No, he dates models. And
Well,
he's also super woke.
Maybe that's what's next for
He's
you.
also super woke, too.
Maybe you'll be woke as well.
I start dating models? No.
No?
All your
You don't like
models are
I like
destroyed.
wholesome,
Oh, you mean you like thickies?
I like wholesome women,
You like some thickies? Yeah.
Good value women. Good value, good morals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Good values. Big values.
Whoa, this is a PG pod, Coob. My sister listens to this, and her kids do. You got to keep it PG.
Her kids don't
They
listen.
know about communism because of Uncle Car.
Yeah, that's true. If they were listening, they'd know that. Car's thoughts on communism.
Anyways, if you've never seen this crazy show before, it's usually me and this guy right here. No,
Him.
This guy.
Me?
This guy. And we cover the top 5 stories here on Stacker News, the front page of Bitcoin. I don't get to pick these stories. Coob doesn't get to pick these stories. Mr. Plebdev seems to have picked the top story, and we're going to dive into that right now. But if you haven't checked out Stacker News, go check it out. Free Bitcoin's on there. It'll be, it's one of the few places to get zaps outside of Nostr, I think, that I know of.
So far, I think there'll be lots of that places.
Hopefully. The first top story is my project got hacked and user funds were stolen. This is from Mr. Bitcoin Pleb Dev, June 17th, Dev's territory. 42 comments, 38,000 sats. 38,000 sats. That's a lot of sats.
It is.
So, Keyan, what's this?
Well, I mean, I don't think I should talk about it. I think Austin should talk about it.
Austin, what's this?
This is my open source shame, as Keyan put it.
No, you put it. I thought that was great. I thought that was really good.
Oh,
but
yeah, I don't know.
You said, I'm going to open source my shame when we were talking about it. I thought it was such a great phrase.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that encouraged me to do it, so I appreciate it. But essentially, this is a breakdown of a hack that happened last week on my project Bitcoin Link. Despite the fact that the project is non-custodial, there was a vulnerability in the app that I overlooked that someone is able to exploit to steal from another user, right? So it's not that I was holding on to the money, it was stolen from me. It's that I wrote bad code and allowed one of my users to get robbed from another user. So pretty bad time. But, this, I guess high level, this happened last week. I dealt with it. I fixed the issue pretty quickly, communicated with my user that it happened to, and, everything was fine to kind of proceed and keep it in the dark and keep it low key. But yeah, I mean, talking to some of the people around the lab and talking to Keyan, he encouraged me that I should share it. And after I thought about it, I was like, of course I should share this. If I'm only sharing projects that work out and here's my tutorials and stuff like that, it's kind of dishonest if I only share stuff that works and I don't share the stuff that I do that doesn't work.
What'd you learn?
Yeah. What I learned, I mean, I try and summarize it at the end, but it's a lot of lessons that sound very trite, very cliche, but it's things that it takes on a whole new weight when you go through it. And it's essentially about, for one, reviewing my code and understanding that if I have an app where I'm serving real users, what kind of risk am I exposing them to? What kind of promises am I making for them? And I shouldn't take that lightly. like just throw out my hackathon project and start taking on users and start scaling it. And that's sort of what I did, is I, just built it for the hackathon. I started adding features and I got a few users and was feeling good. And I didn't take this extra time to look back and consider, what's at risk here? And is there anything that I overlooked in my initial build out? And I think it's also just, man, there's a lot of nuanced stuff about, I guess we could get into with some of the comments down below.
Yeah, well, I just want to say from my point of view, I'm super proud of you, Austin. It's hard to admit failures and to admit things that you screwed up on, but super proud of you. It takes a really strong man to admit that kind of stuff. So I think that's tremendous, because I know there's people out there that have done similar things and haven't shared their story about it for whatever reason that may be. But yeah, just want you to know that. The first top comment was from Gray Ruby. He says 200,000 sats is not too large a price to pay for a lesson. Onwards, indeed. What do you think about that? Do you think that's accurate, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's kind of like I said, I would have loved to pay it up front if someone would have messaged me and been like, hey, look, I can rob on your users right now. Like, pay me the equivalent of what I would rob them.
Yeah.
And I would be like, sure, sounds like a deal.
Yeah, and usually the exchange would be, they tell you how they would do the attack, and then you have like a bit of a lead and wouldn't get the money stolen. You would be volunteering it. It's like a way more virtuous way to do it. I think if you listen to people talk about bug bounties, though, they feel like they don't get the value of the bug. Like they'll find like really critical vulnerabilities in something. I think recently there was a bug in L&D that was disclosed a couple months ago, not the one that was disclosed this week, that I think the person got paid like $2,500, and it was like a pretty significant bug. And it just seemed I think I like the eye for, well, like it's not really eye for an eye, but it's like whatever you could take, I would pay, unless you're willing to take less. If you're like that, you don't want to, make me poor to report a bug. But
yeah, and it's interesting too. Like Ray Ruby says, it's not a large price to pay for a lesson. Like, and Frost Dragon says, yeah, the bounty for that kind of thing is worth more than 200k sats. It's definitely true. Like the expertise that the hacker had to have. Not that it was such a crazy elusive hack. I made a mistake and basically left an endpoint unprotected. But nonetheless, what they had to understand about, for one, the inner workings of my app, and for two, the inner workings of Nostr Wallet Connect. Like, this is someone who has, a lot of experience. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. And there's only a few hundred of us in the world that even understand how Nostr Wallet Connect works. So there's a very small pool of potential hackers here, which makes it interesting. But their expertise was definitely at play.
yeah.
So yeah.
One thing I was gonna ask before we got too deep in the comments was if, like, some people, they draw the line at non-custodial where where things like this can't happen, where like their funds cannot get lost as a result of a provider error or like malfeasance. And I think legally that like there's like the line is drawn somewhere else where this is non-custodial, because the person can unilaterally like exit trusting you without your permission.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that since it was non-custodial, fair game?
No, I'm not talking about the attacker. I'm mostly talking about non-custodial solutions in general. And I know some people who define non-custodial as the provider not being able to be attacked and lose someone else's money. And then there's the other type of non-custodial, which is like, this is non-custodial by another definition, another close definition, where Austin cannot, I believe you cannot, well, you could. I think you could, especially in the revision, you can spend their money, right?
No, in the revision I cannot.
Okay.
So this is what was difficult, is like doing a revision to make it much more difficult to hack, but still keep it non-custodial. And yeah, you're right. There's multiple definitions. Like, I guess mine I take on is the legal definition of non-custodial, which essentially means that I don't have unilateral control over the funds. And even beyond that, if I have almost just as difficult of a time hacking this service or hacking your link as an external actor would. Even the logs in my server and in my database, like, they don't give me secrets. And really the whole scheme here, and where my mistake lies, is the fact that you have an encrypted Nostr Wallet Connect, which is, you can think of it as a permissions to pull a certain amount from your wallet. So there's that piece. It's encrypted in my database, and then the link is stored in the URL. And the idea is that these are created completely separately. I never have the secret. And in fact, the only time I see the secret is after you have already pulled those funds successfully.
Yeah, I'm confused. But
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the people at home aren't.
So it sounds like
I'm
you-
a really dumb pleb. But Keyan, can you expand? I feel like, have you written about this before? Never heard you say this before about the non-custodial thing.
No, I haven't written about it, but I've heard people describe non-custodial differently. But it sounds like Austin meets both definitions of non-custodial the way he's describing it, to where he never is able to spend, the person who's creating the links, their funds, because he never has access to the links. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I suppose it's a different thing if we were to say that it's not possible for me to even make a mistake that could lead to the loss of your funds.
I have another
Yeah.
really dumb question whenever you guys are ready for it. So does every project apply their own definition for non-custodial? Is that that's a dumb question?
No. There's a bit of a gradient at the edge of non-custodial. Like, some people would argue, Austin could speak to this, voltage is custodial because they might be able to read someone's memory on one of their machines and get their
Oh, so
get
that's
their
why you
private
say
keys.
gradient at the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, that
because
makes sense.
There are distinctions to be made.
Do companies
there.
like Voltage disclose that, Austin?
Disclose that. I mean,
I mean,
like,
not disclose. That's the wrong word. Do they talk about that, or do they? Is there a page on the website that
they're
shows?
honest.
I mean, it is an extremely, like, it's
edge case.
it's such a nuanced.
Yeah.
It's such a nuanced thing. Like, because there's kind of a legal argument, and there's almost like a regulatory argument, and those are two different things.
Not to do it. You mean?
Right, but then there's
Gotcha.
the idea of when you say to a Bitcoiner, "Oh, this thing is non-custodial," right? They have an idea of what that means, and there are certain implications of what that means in their head.
Yeah.
Right. So for someone that might mean like, "Oh, my keys are offline. My funds can never be stolen unless it's my fault." And it's like, well, that's not necessarily true, depending on what kind of service it is.
I have another thing to add. So this may be why people should be happy with Darthcoin, because he's a pleb that does go into the different aspects of non-custodial that I know of here on Stacker News, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, yeah, and I think that it just goes back to like what we mean when we say non-custodial. Like, we're trying to say a lot when we say non-custodial, but really those things, they need a lot of specific mentions, such as privacy, such as what are the risks, what metadata are you leaking. There's a ton of nuance around any service that you might use.
It's almost like, and I'm not saying to do this, and I probably shouldn't say this out there, but it kind of reminds me when Saylor got all the miners together and tried to make like a coalition for all that kind of stuff. Maybe that's something that goes on behind the scenes in the Lightning discourse. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess my only point is that
Sorry, I got to.
People have thoughts behind what non-custodial means, and it's actually it's much more subtle. And what I might consider as an app developer, who's like, my main consideration is like, what I want to make, I want it to be right in the eyes of people, meaning that like I don't have unilateral control, right? But at the same time, maybe from an external legal perspective, I don't even want to be considered as a money service business or something like that. Like, I want to make it clear that like, yeah, this is a service where I don't have any control over funds.
Because what you're doing here is everything is all the sensitive information is encrypted client side, and you're simply storing it, right? And you're not storing the links that can redeem the money, all you're doing is you're providing an endpoint that stores encrypted blobs that people can redeem. Is what it sounds like. Which is not. I would say meets all the criteria of non-custodial, assuming that and that cryptographic protocol is sound, which it sounds like we're having the next iteration of, and you put up a bounty for it. Has anyone taken you up on the bounty?
So people have tried. So this is something at the end of my post. I mentioned that like, okay, let me put my money where my mouth is, because I'm talking about how I fixed this thing, and how like, oh, I'm sorry, and I made this mistake, and I won't do it again. Like, I wanted to put my money where my mouth is, so I generated 100,000 sat in WC right here. So it's basically 100 links, each of which have 1,000 sats. So this link, if you click on it, it's claimed. Yeah, so you'll see this little message here. This link has already been claimed, or it is expired.
What font is that?
Yeah, so someone already took it. It was kind of like, here's a freebie. But inside of this link is a secret. It has an index, a link index. It has a Nostrwall Connect ID. My code is open source. You can read it. And so basically this right here represents the same information that the hacker had originally. So the hacker was given
the secret inside of the URL.
Yeah. But now how I changed, one of the ways I changed the service is that like, I'm basically creating a one-to-many relationship between a Nostrwall Connect is the one, and then there are many potential links. And so now what I have to do is I have to regenerate secrets and re-encrypt the same Nostrwall Connect multiple times in my database. So it just makes everything a lot more atomic now. But essentially, this is the same information that the hacker had, where they were able to exploit it at first. So I was like, okay, I'm claiming I fixed this. So here's that same information the hacker had. If anyone else, can do a new exploit, go for it. Please let me know if you find an exploit. If not, this is literally my money on the line right here. So people have been trying. They've been playing. I've been seeing logs. They're playing around with the API and trying to find vulnerabilities, but it's been looking good.
That's good
so far.
Yeah, is this? I'm curious. So it sounds like you're like double encrypting. Are you encrypting the secret?
Well,
the Nostrwall Connect string twice.
No, I'm literally only encrypting it once, but it requires a valid link index, and that valid link index is almost like another secret. So it's sort of like a combination of two secrets.
I see. Okay.
And now, like, also the encrypted blob only ever lives on the server. It never surfaces through one of the endpoints. This is one of the other mistakes I made, was that it actually got pulled down in the client side when it was decrypted, which, as I recall that now, is just like stupid. There was no reason to do that, but it's like this is what happened. I made this MVP during the hackathon, and it just worked, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to go mess with this. I want to build my shiny new features.
We tend to forget. I mean, I think when we're coding things, it's why I become so when I notice an issue in my code, I know I'm going to get lost on some rabbit hole in another part of it, so I'll leave myself a to-do comment. And then when I'm about to like ship something, or around the time I'm about to ship something, I'll
look through the
I'll search through the code and be like, where are the to-dos at? Where are the like triple X's that I leave in my code comments to alert me to something? Or I'll like intentionally break something so that it will remind me that I need to go back. But it is like there's so much you have to keep in your mind when you're making these things, and especially at a hackathon where the kind of culture is to be poorly slept and not be or to prioritize presentation. It's hard to remember all the little hacks and stuff you made.
So
very relatable.
Car, I want to touch on that comment from null count, because I think that was the other interesting kind of tidbit from here.
Where is it at?
Where was that? I think it was null.
Yeah.
Count.
No count says if you leave an envelope full of cash in the middle of the street and someone takes it, it was not stolen. Change my mind. The internet is a public square. If your app is publicly accessible and someone is able to make the app pay them, then they earn every sat. You were not a victim of theft, only a victim of loss. No different than losing your cash in the street.
Yeah. So I think this is
Someone
a pretty...
tell the SEC and the Department of Justice.
I think this is a fair perspective, and honestly, like, this is a very what would you say? This verges into the gray to black hat territory of a perspective, which is essentially, it's like this person's perspective is like, you know, the internet is a wild west of, you know, anarchy and lawlessness, and if you leave yourself vulnerable out here and someone takes your stuff, that's just what happens because you're in the Wild West, baby. So that's kind of the perspective. And it's like, I kind of agree with that. Like, that's how I feel as well. And when I got hacked, a lot of the people here in the lab, they're like, oh, we have to find this guy and we have to, like, you know, but I was very much just like, I am only disappointed in myself. I'm not upset with the hacker. They exploited my mistake. It's fully my responsibility. Like, I'm on that side of things, but I still think that there's a bit more nuance here to what null count is saying. It's like, it's not quite that simple, because there was malicious intent behind this hack, and you can see it. I can see it in the logs. I see a full night of someone spending a night of their life poking and prodding my service, my storehouse in the middle of the wastes, and they're trying to get in to take my stock, right? Or really another user. So it's like, there's malicious intent there. It's not just finding cash in the gutter and picking it up and putting it in your pocket. But I still think it's interesting because there's a contrast of both perspectives. We got null count here with the super gray black hat perspective, but a lot of other people were saying, you need to expose this thief. You need to expose this person. We need to find this person and bring them to justice, which is interesting because that's like both sides of the spectrum there. And I'm kind of in the middle, probably actually more towards null count, which is like, I'm an idiot. It was my fault. You know, the hacker's probably not a bad guy, but I'm like, he's a little malicious. I think it could be he or she, they. I
think it could be your fault, and it doesn't. I don't think it legitimizes null count's point of view, because from my perspective, I do believe in property rights, and I do believe in digital property rights, and I don't think stealing. I mean, it implies you have some sense of morality or ethics. It's a mortal
sin. Like you're literally like falling into like the devilish side of things. It's disgusting in my opinion, but I think each their own.
I think no. I mean, if you get away, it's mostly
I would. 10 command.
I asked him a question here because he said that the internet is a public square, and your app is publicly accessible. But so is someone's home. They're like door on the outside of their door is the public, and so if I break into their door, if I enter their house and steal their belongings, I asked him a question here like, is that okay because their home is accessible via the public?
Yeah, it is.
There it goes. I found it.
And and I mean, it's either he doesn't believe in property rights in general, or he thinks digital property rights are different than physical property rights, which is interesting. I think some people do feel like they are distinct things and, you know, different things. I tend to think of them as in the same way.
You take stealing very personally. Mm-hmm. One time your Stacker News hat was missing for like 2 hours, and you lit off, bro.
Well, I only had 10 of them at the time, and I thought someone violated my trust. Yeah. But it was someone who I trusted doing what I gave them permission to do, and I'd forgotten.
Yeah. I think we covered, that's probably like episode 2 or something. You should definitely check it out if you're a fan of Stacker News Live. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say was I tend to get people the benefit of the doubt, you know, because I think that's just the way to do it. In this scenario, maybe the person had reason to do it. So, I mean, did you ever get in contact with them, Austin?
No, I'm waiting to do that. You should find my comment I made about, I forget what I said exactly. It might be towards the top.
I don't see it. This one? Blockchain Boog also said the same thing. He said stealing is wrong. I haven't been scammed myself.
No, scroll up a little bit more. Okay, there we go. I should also mention there's a lot of details I have to leave out for privacy security reasons. Yeah, some of the things, if you're a developer, you might read through this and might think some of it doesn't make sense, but Yeah, privacy security reasons. But I'm 90% positive I know who hacked Bitcoin Link, and it is a prominent developer in the space. I'm sure everyone would recognize. I'm not absolutely certain though, so I wouldn't name them, but they could definitely still shoot me a DM. So if this person is watching, please reach out to me. BitcoinPlebDev@protonmail.com, or I'm on Nostr and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I can't even say about this, but I have logs that link them between multiple services that links back to an email. And as I mentioned before, I mean, whoever did this is a developer that understands Nostr Wallet Connect. They're a developer that's clearly within the Bitcoin, Lightning, Nostr space. So it's a small pool of people. So it's a little bit disturbing to see that like this attack was done by someone that appears to be someone that could be my peer, someone that I would have drinks with at the bar after a Bitcoin conference. But not only did they like exploit it once, but they've continued attacking. So whoever that is, if you watch Stacker News, reach out to me. I'm pretty nice, but
they don't watch Stacker News.
Yeah, I'm on my own side. I'm trying to track the hacker a little bit myself and do some
counter
intelligence. Yeah, exactly. Wow. But overall, I mean, this is my first time I making a service quite like this where users could even lose funds. So wow, I've learned a lot. I'm very humbled. I'm very sorry. And at the same time, this is the first time I've been hacked quite like this. So this is all a very new experience for me. It's been a very stressful few weeks, but nonetheless, I'm learning a lot, and I'm really trying to take the most from it and soak it up. But man, just take my lesson to heart and don't have to go through it yourself. Just take that extra bit of time. And one last thing I'll say is one very easy thing I could have done here is I could have capped the amount that users could create in links to minimize the possibility that someone could have a lot of money hacked. That was just such an easy thing I could have done to be like, oh, you could only create a Nostr Wallet Connect for up to 100,000 sats or something like that. So even if like maybe you're putting out your hackathon prototype, that's cool. Just make sure that you're at least minimizing the potential of loss for your users, and then give messages up front to let them know that this is alpha software, and
I think the more
bad things can happen.
I think the more interesting thing here is, and I do hope the person was just kind of like, trying to help you out, and maybe he's going to send you a long email of like what he found and stuff like that. But it would be interesting, and maybe at TabConf to do like a war hack scenario for like this kind of stuff. That would be cool. Do you know what I mean, Austin? Like where you guys all try to hack your own projects?
That would be really cool. That'd be cool. Extremely valuable. Like, I mean, I would almost want to
what would you call that, Super? What would that be called? Where you guys all try to hack your own projects, like at TabConf? Black Hat. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be fun.
Red team, blue team.
Tidwell, if you're listening, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, penetration testing.
Pen testing for
Lightning. That would be cool.
Yeah. But,
awesome.
Thanks for having me on. Big lesson learned.
Dude, thanks for coming on and sharing this. I didn't think when I asked you today, I was expecting you to say no. So good on you. Good on you.
Yeah, if you want to hear more from Austin, he did a podcast with Car recently.
Where is, well, he didn't post it on here. I think I posted it.
Yeah, probably. You've been having issues finding it.
He has devs territory. What's the devs territory? I never heard of it.
The devs territory is just, it's everything for the devs. Tips, tricks, hacks, libs, bips, nips, gists, everything in between. And I actually do a weekly and sometimes bi-weekly kind of live stream, Top Devs, where I read through the top dev stories.
This is where all the eCash stuff content is at.
There's a lot of eCash content.
You should drop it in devs so I can mute it. Just kidding.
Okay, you got me there.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, check out devs. Check out Pleb Devs on YouTube. Check out plebdevs.com.
Yeah, check it out, y'all. He drops. Check out his YouTube. It's growing, and you're learning, and you get to hang out with a really nice guy named Austin. Look at this.
Let's go. This is Damien's backend series. Yeah, check this out if you want to learn backend and TypeScript from scratch.
Look at those. Oh, wow. This is amazing, dude.
I'm getting better with the thumbnails.
Shorts. Devfluencer.
I hear that you want a bigger face in the thumbnails. The big people like to click on big faces.
This is actually true. I found out. So here's a dark, interesting tidbit, dark secret. I found out some of the biggest YouTubers. I've been studying thumbnails lately, and I noticed that in a lot of these big YouTube channels and their thumbnails, so they put their face really big on the thumbnail, but they make their eyes reflective. They make their eyes shiny. They edit the eyes
Where's Logan at?
in the thumbnail.
Is this true?
So it draws your attention.
I don't know, something about it. Yeah, it makes it have more of the appearance, like when you're scrolling past it, this person is making eye contact with you because there's like the reflection of the eyes. It's really crazy. If you look closely, like there's a lot of psychology
Interesting.
beneath it. But anyway, that's a whole other topic.
This is cool. We'll check it out. Zap them.
Yep.
And yeah, thanks.
All right.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Are we getting special guest number
special guest soup?
2?
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna have a super Testnet.
Yeah,
No,
you
stay
wanna-
here, stay here, stay here.
What do you mean? I was gonna.
No, stay here.
Okay, I thought you guys would have.
We got he just came on Thriller earlier.
Oh,
yeah, we
okay.
talked about a lot of this stuff.
I see.
It was thrilling.
It was thrilling. But yeah, Super Testnet's back in Austin.
Back in Austin.
Hi, everybody.
Docs.
For a-
Good to see you all
You're
again.
wearing your Bitcoin orange shirt.
All my Stacker friends. It's you. I see
it's
you.
them too. Look over there.
Thank you for leaving a comment. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification
Okay.
if you want
Who's a
get
better
more videos
Who's a better
like this.
podcaster, once and for all, Car or Vlad?
What?
Who's a better podcaster, Car or Vlad?
Car.
Boom, right in your
Wow.
face, Vlad.
Car's a better
in your face,
You know,
Vlad.
Super wouldn't
in your
lie
face,
either.
Vlad.
But
That means that's meaningful.
Vlad is a better self-promoter.
yeah, shameless.
Oh.
No, not shameless.
Shameless
There's nothing wrong with
self-promoter.
self-promotion. It's not bad.
No, I love Vlad, but
He's good at it.
he's really good at it. Yeah. Anyways, Super Testnet.
Yeah.
Where you been?
He's not very good at it. Okay, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to. I wish I could list them off like he does in the song Johnny Cash, but I can't do that.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
I've been
to
to
Las Vegas, Sugar
Sao Paulo, Florianopolis, London, Paris,
Love
France. Paris, Spain, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
I've been to Las Vegas. I've
Las
been to
Vegas.
Prague. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been
everywhere,
to San Francisco. I've been to Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah. So I've been everywhere, man.
That's awesome. Do you want to join us for the rest of the top 4 stories?
Not the top 4, but I will join for my favorite one, which is going to be.
Which one?
Which is what one?
Is it
Doom? The next
this
one is
one?
Doom is not a strategy. Is that not your top one? We can cover your top one sooner if you'd like.
I don't think I've read any of these.
That's fair.
Let's check out the Doom one. What's
Okay,
what's it about,
the
guys?
next top story, Stackers. This is they're like, Car, what are you doing? This has gone off track. I know. This is what we do. We roll with it.
Yeti's a better podcaster than Vlad.
The next top story is Doom is not a strategy. This is from JT Woodhouse, June 20th, the Bitcoin territory. 30 comments, 10,734 sats. Coob, what is this?
Yeah, so this is like another one of those posts, kind of I don't know, like
Oh,
trying to.
Did this really happen?
It looks like whoever did that thought Boom was a strategy.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually a nuclear bomb or anything, but I think
It's not big enough to be nuclear.
no, I think it's just a
A
normal
TNT,
bomb.
you think?
I have no idea, but I mean, it could be a tiny nuclear bomb. I have no idea. But this post is about. This is another post, and I think there's quite a few of them now where there's kind of people. They're kind of like disciplining Bitcoiners, like kind of telling them they're viewing things wrong. This one was. There was news circulated on like alternative news sources, but not even alternative news sources. It was like alternative to alternative news sources started circulating that the petrodollar system had ended, and that it was like a news event or something. But when this was announced, I was looking around for it. I couldn't find any news outlets reporting it, which makes sense if it's supposed to be a secret thing. You can read about the petrodollar system, though, is real. It was there was someone who whistle blew on it, and it was covered at one point, and it got picked. I think it was like 2014, maybe 2016, around that time when the whole thing was kind of revealed. But we did make a deal with Saudi Arabia to provide them weapons in exchange for them only selling oil for dollars. And that does appear to be ending. So there's lots of evidence that I think they've made announcements about selling oil for other things. So that has ended. I just don't know if there's the official agreement has ended, which is kind of what this claims. Anyway, he says that he found that he couldn't find evidence that it officially ended, and he thinks Bitcoiners are just kind of making it up in an effort to
Put down the dollar.
Does he call out the Bitcoiners?
put down the dollar and believe that the world.
Does he call out the Bitcoiners in the thing?
Yes, that's
Wow.
Well, it's mostly he's like, Bitcoiners are doomers. Here's why they're doomers. And
Hey, wait. He mentioned BitVM for a second. Go back. I can
Who is
actually
this
comment
guy?
on that.
Who is this guy?
JT Woodhouse.
Is he on Stacker News or what?
Yeah, he posted. I think he posted this article himself. If not,
he's from North
he
Carolina.
frequently posts the articles himself. He does a pretty good job.
Let me tell you, man, if you live in wood houses, don't throw matches
Well, he's on Nostr,
around.
so hopefully he posted on there. If you guys want to talk to him, there you go.
Hello, JT Woodhouse.
Oh, this is his Twitter. I don't know.
Go back to the thing. I want to see what you
Yeah,
said
yeah,
about
sorry.
the thing
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
know a little bit about.
Yeah. So he says,
I need. Here it is.
Where
I
is it
need
at?
to read up on eCash, bleh, BitVM, meh, and all the wild ways it's been integrated into Nostr. Also kind of meh. All right, that's okay. Good. I hope you do read. Reading is good for you. Skip.
Yeah, but I thought
Stupid stuff,
the interesting bone he picks, or the like his motivation behind this piece was that he feels like Bitcoiners are doomers because what they want is the dollar to end, so they don't have to do the hard work of like educating people and making layer twos that work well and scale and have decent UX. But they want to win the easy way, which is their opponent like bows out, their opponent fails, their opponent defeats themselves rather than them actually providing a superior solution. And I thought that was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the whole article.
what
Was
did the
that
stacker say?
like little inflection?
Nerd to Ninja says, oh, wow, is this my alt? Nah, I'm kidding. Seriously, though, watching other people come to the same natural conclusions and write articles about them is a heck of a thing to watch. Are you sure you're not my alt? What does he mean by that?
Just means he agrees with him on everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The next one was from Kepford. He says, good article, but this is incorrect. And he quotes, if only it turns out there was one small problem with the story, the agreement didn't exist. It was fake news.
Agreement does exist.
End quote. It did exist. This is from Kepford. He says, the part that people have been wrong about it is the collapse of the dollar. I have never heard anyone dispute the existence. Even those that refute the impact, gold bugs have been claiming the dollar will collapse for longer than Bitcoin. The argument against the collapse of the dollar due to the oil not being traded in dollars is that treasuries are what has a larger impact on the strength of the dollar. That said, people say this is a significant sign of the long-term weakening of the dollar.
Yeah.
Oh, so JT Woodhouse is on Stacker News.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, he
Hi,
posted the
JT.
article himself, I
Well,
believe.
Super, what do you think?
I heard of the petrodollar a long time ago. Or no, I heard of the eurodollar a long time ago. There's too many noun
Dollars.
dollar things. Noun then dash dollar. I don't know. I didn't read this thing, but I mean, what I've skimmed here looks pretty good. Thanks for provocative prognostications.
Anyway, what's next for you, Super? What's going on? What's on the docket for Super's life? You're a famous.
I'm going to Mexico.
You're famous on tour.
I got I took a flight to Mexico today because I'm going to go help Chris Guida. Shout out to Chris Guida to build a BitDevs down in South America Middle America, Mexico, North America. Yeah, finally got there, North America. This is my website, which is up there for some reason.
Well, because you're selling workshops. You're a cam guy.
Yeah,
And you're
I'm a cam guy?
You're a cam guy.
What, is that like a cam girl?
No, but because they don't have. You're a cam guy, and you're selling workshops.
I don't know what a cam guy is. Is that just someone on a camera?
I think so. It's a man.
yeah, I'm that.
It's a man on a camera. That's what I meant.
Okay, but I'm not familiar with this term.
It's a term I made up.
That
For
fits.
fun.
Yeah, I'm on camera sometimes, and I sell.
I mean, I'm a cam guy right now.
I'm even selling my likeness to people. So if you go click that, you can buy a video of me, which is kind of like selling my likeness. So
This is
check
awesome.
it out.
Talk about your next work. Your next workshop is June 25th in New York.
Yeah,
Whoa.
but this isn't super shill time. Let's talk about. This is Stacker News time.
Yeah, Coop.
All right, fine. I thought Super.
So, did you have anything else to say about this?
No, I thought I brought up the things I thought were
I think the
interesting
biggest
about
thing
it.
here is just to get back to the whole thing. I think it's not that Bitcoin, and I'm not talking for all Bitcoiners, but I'm talking for myself. I don't think that I'm convinced the way some people are about the ending of the dollar, but when you look at all the data that's there, it speaks loudly. And if you listen to certain people in the space, like a lot of the Parker Lewises and some of these other people who have been doing a lot of the research and stuff like that, I know Parker pretty well. I don't see him as somebody just doing that to show his bags. He doesn't seem like that type of man. So that's all I would say to that.
The dollar's death will be slow.
Totally.
It destroys itself intentionally over time in order to get people to work more.
Yeah.
And just Bitcoin doesn't do that. So it's not you can't. But its death is slow enough that you can't just rely on that. Like do the hard work. So. Yeah. Overall, I suppose I agree with the thesis, but I do disagree with the specific. Or I haven't read.
Yeah, I have no idea about the Saudi stuff.
I can't say I disagree with anything because I haven't read it.
I have no idea about the Saudi stuff. That's not my lane. But
I probably agree with everything you say, my friend.
But
probably
the doomer stuff in the dollar, like all the information's there. Like you just have to go and do the research, and if you don't have time to do that, then
Sorry, I haven't read your thing.
Yeah, I'll check it out this weekend. The other top story is
that's me. I guess I can head out. So.
You're heading out? Okay, cool.
Bye, Super. We'll see you when you come back from Mexico.
Wait, he's not leaving today.
I'm not heading. I'm not leaving right now.
I was saying it from the point of view of the viewer.
Bye, viewers. Okay. See you on my camera. See you on my. You'll see me on my camera. I don't know, something like that.
All right. Cool.
Mic drop.
Say something real quick.
Hello.
Okay, cool. I muted the right one. Yeah. What a beginning of the show.
Oh yeah.
Threw a lot of things off. Let's get into the next top story. This is from Darthcoin. Bitcoin circular economy, a hard to achieve goal for many people. Bitcoin territory, 47 comments, 5,010 cents. June 16th post. Coop, what's this?
Yeah, so this is Darthcoin. Kind of, being the best Darthcoin that it can be, and trying to encourage people to do more circular economy stuff. Try to orange pill their local merchants. Try to get away from using fiat. Who was that top comment there? Was that Jimmy?
Yeah. He's the only person of notoriety that actually comes to Stacker News and comments. That's what I'm saying. Be the example, Jimmy. I love it.
I think he does. Jimmy does have. Jimmy's been saying this a lot, probably for the last year. He really thinks what Bitcoiners need to build are, kind of trad mom and pop businesses that are Bitcoin focused or Bitcoin favoring, and we don't have that yet. And so it'd be, especially as Bitcoiners get more wealthy, this is something that maybe becomes more available to them, is starting a car washing business or a laundromat or a landscaping business that accepts Bitcoin. I didn't watch this talk, but I'll have to do it.
Yeah, so Teresa tweeted something about this. He was saying this earlier this week. I saw it on the Plub Lab thing, but he's right. I mean, we've known this for a while now here in Austin, but it's this same conversation that we have. It's just more businesses, more entrepreneurship. Marty made a post today on TFTC about the Sats flow. People aren't pricing that in, and then when you go and talk to some other types of people in the ecosystem, they're even more bearish on that scenario. But I think it's interesting because a lot of people from Austin, Jimmy being one of them, the Zaprat guys, and then Marty being one of them, they're seeing the same thing that everybody's seeing here in this town. And businesses, entrepreneurship, a lot of this stuff can transform a city in the right direction. You saw the Unchained Capital announcement a couple weeks ago about the Austin. It wasn't UT, but it was the City of Austin College or whatever. And it turns out, dude, that's right there on Congress and 7th, I think, like a block or 2 blocks away from the Bitcoin Commons and Unchained. So, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of us who are here on the ground see that, and it's good to see Jimmy out there spreading the gospel about why this is the way it's going to happen, because we're kind of seeing it right in front of us, and it's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, Jimmy had the top comment. He said, so one step I think will become much more prominent in the coming years is not convincing merchants to take Bitcoin, but Bitcoiners acquiring business and operating on a Bitcoin standard. Okay, that's one way to do it. I found it's mostly hopeless in getting business. Yes, exactly. To adopt Bitcoin as they really don't get it. Yes, you need Bitcoiners that understand its value to run these businesses, and there's a tremendous opportunity as many of these profitable businesses are being sold due to boomers retiring. Even a few businesses in the same town will have a pretty big effect, and these businesses will have a major advantage with Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Like the mini guys, right? Like Tony made them take the mod bike stuff, and now they're in the now if somebody's going to buy a bike, they're going to go to mod bikes. Like that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing that Three Forks did by taking Bitcoin. Yeah, it's yeah. You have to. I mean, I feel bad for the people that don't do it, but Jimmy's right.
I mean, I don't think those two examples are good. They're more so the example of merchants who began accepting Bitcoin are probably immediately trading into fiat. Those are not businesses operating on the Bitcoin standard, I think.
Well, we can't. The rules haven't been written yet in Texas yet.
No, I think you can operate. You have to price. I think you have to price your assets in dollars, but you can hold all of your company's money in Bitcoin, as far as I know. And I think living on a Bitcoin standard is also one of these things that I don't think is very well defined, but it usually means you are primarily paying as many as you're operating expenses of Bitcoin as you can, using Bitcoin as your reserve.
I just know, like here, like I hate to keep bringing up Austin. I just know for a fact at this point, like if you haven't seen the Bitcoin signal here in Austin by all these Bitcoiners who are in the community doing all sorts of work by now, what else can we have done? Like at this point, what else could we have done? I don't know, but it's incredibly bullish. Good article, Darth. The next top story is from eCash on Bitcoin. Educational resources from Scoresby. Bitcoin territory, June 18th. 8 comments, 6,155 sats. What's this, Keyan?
Yeah. So Scoresby is writing a lot of great articles on eCash, trying to kind of understand it, find a comparable thing that exists that we're all familiar with that could explain the way eCash works. And I don't think he even shared his own articles in this list, but he shared a bunch of eCash resources for learning about eCash. Some, I assume, ones that he's compiled as he's been learning about it himself. And yeah, I think these kind of lists help a lot. I remember very early going onto like WAF's website and looking at all the links that he's compiled. So I don't think there exists one for eCash yet. It's just too early for people to really get behind it. But yeah, this is that. This is a list of resources.
Gotta love the stackers.
Yeah, Kelsay.
So Joda, for the people that are listening, Joda Stacker said this in the top comment. It says eCash does not effing scale Bitcoin, and this is a quotation from Callie. Apparently, Callie said this, and then he says every podcast, Callie on scaling Bitcoin with eCash, and then it has a meme underneath it. Yeah. Cool stuff. The next top story is long-term support for Callie, the person we were just talking about. This is from Siggy47 10 hours ago. Bitcoin territory, 8 comments, 1,410 sats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, OpenSats continues making more eCash grants available. It seems to be like part of their portfolio now. But yeah, this one is for Callie, and it's long-term support, which I believe is they agree on an ongoing basis to give him money. And he's working on Cashew, which is an eCash mint with a single guardian, I think is the term that they use for people running these things and doing all the cryptographic signing thingies. And in contrast to Fedimint, which has several of them, but what's nice about Cashew is it's really, I think, allowed people to experiment a little more easily with eCash than they might have with having to start with Fedimint to begin with. And Callie's also just, I think, a very well-spoken person with strong opinions, and I think with also integrity, from what I can see, having seen him in podcasts. And so I think it's nice to see him get support for it continue to be able to operate. I think it has a physics background, came to programming, which is always a really cool trajectory.
Cool stuff. And that's all the top 5 stories on Stacker News this week. We're going to jump into our top stories.
That is right.
The first one is Koob's ramifications of samurai plea bargain. What's this, Keyan?
Yeah, well, Siggy wrote about plea deals and how they're really to the samurai case, but the Rage, I forget the person's name who writes for Rage, but they do a lot of great reporting on privacy and Bitcoin. They've been reporting about the samurai case and that they can't seem to get any kind of documentation on or case files on the dev that was apprehended in Portugal. And Siggy concludes that from his experience as a lawyer, in New York City, where this case is being tried, which might have relevance or not, I don't know, but he says that it's very common when someone is cooperating with authorities and likely to plead guilty for, I think a 5K is what it's called, where the judge will give them leniency in the sentencing. It's very common that their case files are not available to the public and they're hidden. And so Siggy concludes that might be what's going on with the death. And so I thought this was great insider stuff that I wouldn't have known otherwise. And
Yeah, there is a Vice video. I'll try to post it tonight when I get home. But there's a Vice video, I want to say maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, kind of talking about a similar thing, but with the Anon group and how what they'll do typically, and I don't know just from the video that Vice shared, was they'll capture one person and then insert that person back into the ecosystem. They're talking, this is for the Anon thing that the Vice thing was on. And then that person will rat on everybody in that ecosystem, and that's how they took down Anon. And they talk about, Vice actually talks about the Anon thing inside of all that.
just like the Sopranos.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, but it's always been one of those things that's been in the back of my head since I came in the ecosystem. It was always I've always wondered, the conversations that we have, like after parties or after conferences and kind of that stuff, and being careful of who you're actually talking to and what you're saying. All that kind of stuff. That's always been my super paranoid take on it, but these days I'm not too paranoid.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I'm not saying we do, but I'm saying like it's interesting that Siggy posted this.
Yeah, no, I thought this was great.
Because that's immediately what I thought of that Vice thing.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they have implanted him back. It sounds like he's still in custody, but.
That Monero guy. So there was a Monero guy that got arrested in the crossing borders. I forget which Monero guy it was, but and then I'm not sure whatever happened to him, but I would imagine they planted him back or something. Like, it's scary, dude. Once they got you, they got you. Hopefully that doesn't happen to these guys.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Ziggy's right about them, one of them taking guilty plea and cooperating to the detriment of their partner. We'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough place to be. But I would just say that no one's gonna fault you either way. I wouldn't personally. No one wants to be in a.
Ratting someone out?
Well, I'm just saying, no one's gonna fault him either way. I would imagine. I mean, who wants to be in a cell block, like in a little concrete block for the rest of their life? No one does. That's torturous.
Yeah, but I mean, what's his culpability for putting his partner in?
Oh, is that who he's gonna have to put in? Is that?
Who else would it be? I mean, Siggy says here that usually what has to happen, why when these deals are reached, like the conditions are that the person who's getting the special treatment now and clean again this file.
Oh, so you're saying that they're putting them? Siggy's saying that they're pitting them against each other right now?
He could, but Siggy's mostly saying that they have to make the prosecution confident or whatever the legal system confident that he'll help them get a bigger fish.
Golly,
so
dude.
Kind of the conditions, and so they don't make these deals on speculation, as far as I know. So it could be that he already has, Siggy kind of speculates here that maybe he has evidence of his partner interacting with criminals, helping them, do things that are deemed illegal, and then, or possibly information on the criminals themselves that they wouldn't otherwise have. But who knows? Anyway, it's all.
Oh, so he says right here. Let's just say, just for people that are listening at home, because to me, when I thought this seemed okay. So he says, but in this case, I'm right. Allow me to speculate. So he's speculating right now. He's not saying this is going on. For the people that are listening at home that can't see this. Okay, I think it's safe to say that this is all speculation. This is not.
I said speculation, at least.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't listen. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna pray tonight. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, that's not something you want to see. But like, does Siggy say, like, what if he just didn't do anything wrong? Because a lot of us think that they didn't do anything wrong. Like, why can't that be the starting place for this kind of stuff? Innocent before being proven guilty, type of thing.
Oh, well, that's just not how the legal system works. If you read the indictment, it was like it was so confident that they are like super mischievous and criminal and cooperative.
Are they just looking at their character traits or whatever?
That's how the legal system works. Is you paint the worst case, like the prosecution paints like the worst possible case, and they act super confident, so the jury gets like psyoped into believing them, and then the defendants, they do the same thing, where it's like, look how frail and fragile and sensitive and well-meaning, and it's a play. It's like the best system we have for making these kind of decisions, and it's a total.
Gosh.
It's like a fiction. It's a battle. It's like a battle of like psychology, where you're trying to sway a jury. That's what it is.
Well, let's hope this is not what's going on.
I think hopefully the facts.
Let's hope they get a fair trial and all that sort of thing. Your next story you wanted to share was what are your thoughts on Bitcoin losing the darknet?
Yeah, this is an interesting conversation that comes up quite a bit, especially among Monero people, because this is kind of one notch on Monero's belt, is that it has more darknet usage than Bitcoin does, and so it comes up over and over again. It usually sparks a lot of discussion, and so there's a lot, and a lot of it relates to Bitcoin's UX, Bitcoin's privacy UX. So if you're interested in Bitcoin privacy, improving Bitcoin privacy, participating in these discussions or reading some of the debates that are had, it's probably a good idea. It happened all over the place. But like this one in particular generated 151 comments because there's a lot to disagree about.
Was there any comment that you wanted to bring up, or?
I think people are talking about eCash, and that eCash is going to fill a privacy role for Bitcoin. Tom Lay's in here is, I think we call him Tom Lott.
Tamales?
Tamal describes that Lightning is already better than Monero.
EK jumps in too.
Yeah. So there's a lot of perspective here, but I think fundamentally it is. I mean, even Peter McCormick on his own podcast, I think recently was doing one with Kelsay from Ordinals, and he said that he still has Monero, and he has Monero for darknet things because he doesn't trust himself. He doesn't trust himself to be able to go through Bitcoin privacy UX in the right ways, and so he uses Monero for that.
Who? Who said that? Kelsay did?
No, this was Peter McCormick.
Oh, wow.
Kelsay would be able to navigate it pretty easily. But it's fundamentally like a UX thing, and Bitcoin's privacy UX just isn't
Yeah, it looks like the stackers.
obvious.
Definitely check it out if you're interested in that conversation. The other one is DOS Disclosure LND Onion Bomb. What's this?
Yeah, this is my last one. So this is I think it was LND version 16 or before, or maybe just before version 17. They were expecting what the person who was routing through their node said the length of the data was, and they would allow the person to say the length of the data was 4 gigabytes, and they would allocate memory to do that. So you could basically trick a node into allocating so much memory it would crash. And so this was found by Matt Morehouse, who does this fuzz testing. Does a lot of fuzz testing on Bitcoin stuff. I believe he's been continually sponsored by Spiral to do this kind of testing, which is really important testing for finding these things that are like kind of non-obvious to like a reasoning conscious person. But become fuzz testing is like when you test things with a lot of randomness. So we exposed this bug and reported it. It got patched in version 17.
So if you're so you're saying upgrade right now, update?
Update. I mean, you should have updated already, probably.
Okay.
There were other bugs that had been fixed before that were more public.
Was that a bug right there you slapped?
I'm trying to slap these bugs as fruit flies or like.
Yeah, you think I should stop getting the fruit?
I don't know. Maybe we need to get like a fly strip or something for them.
Oof, don't want that.
Maybe get like or maybe do like one of the
maybe just throw away maybe don't get apples anymore. Yeah. So update is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Your LND, so you do
Cool.
not get an involuntary crash.
Nice. Then your other top story was Lugano trip report.
Yeah, Lugano. Leo did these great El Salvador trip reports that we.
Oh, is he going to Lugano now?
This is another person.
Oh, another person. Oh.
This is Red Radish. And they went to Lugano using Bitcoin.
Zap him.
Zap them. And Lugano is in Switzerland, very commonly known to be the like home of Tether, and very crypto friendly. They even have their own shitcoin that is like backed by their local currency. But they're generally crypto friendly, so they also support Bitcoin stuff. And he describes using Bitcoin there, talking to merchants, trying to get them to use Bitcoin. They often had a hard time and had to get help or whatever, couldn't find the Bitcoin option because there were so many crypto options on their screens. But another place where you're seeing some like merchant adoption.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope to go to Lugano at some point. It'd be nice.
Beautiful. It's really. I've only been to Zurich for like 24 hours, but it was a very nice place.
Just for 24 hours?
Just for 24 hours on the layover. I had some hot dew. I had a rude waiter.
Wait, what's a rude waiter? Is that a drink?
No.
Oh.
That'd probably be a great drink. I don't know what it would be.
I thought that was a drink.
Probably make it look like someone spit in your glass.
Ah, that makes sense. But it's actually spit, you know?
No, it shouldn't be spit, but it should look like spit.
You're like, can I get a double rude waiter? And then you just get spit. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, it felt like a real. Felt like I was really in Europe. He wasn't that rude, but yeah, I recommend going to Switzerland. It's one of the
Nice.
easy, expensive place.
We're gonna jump into my top stories this week that I was watching. This is one that Oscar posted. I think it was about a week ago, but he had some. What he said. What are some ideas, implementations, critiques on various bounty systems? And then he also specifically asked you about your Stacker News bounty system, because I guess people think you and Moritz have figured it out as far as a bounty system.
Oh, I don't think he was asking about the open source bounty system.
Oh, he wasn't? Oh, okay.
He didn't specify. I thought he meant ours. Because he used a Stacker News bounty to ask me about bounties, so I thought he meant the current bounty.
Oh, okay. So what did you tell him? Can you summarize this?
I told him the biggest concerns are that people do work and they don't get paid, or people don't do work and then want to get paid. Those are like the problems you have to solve for. And so I lay out kind of how we thought about it. Austin was the one who suggested we do bounties on Stacker News, and I shared basically the way we thought about it, the choices we made. And there's lots of decisions to make and trade-offs.
That's cool. And then can somebody copy your GitHub way that you did it on yours?
They can copy. I mean, if they want to copy the code, which would be probably pretty hard, put it in another project, but they can copy. I lay out the reasoning here behind the big things you kind of need to think about and lay out. So someone could write. It should probably be easier for them to write their own code into their own project that does some of that stuff, and they might have a better way of doing it. I also described using 99 Designs, which is this design contest system where you say, I want a logo designed for Thriller, whatever, or whatever. Super Testnet's new magazine that you can come out with. Super Testnet gives them, I think it's $400 is what you put up front. And then
with 99 Designs, you mean?
99 Designs.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
$100, and you can upgrade to $400. This is a long time ago. It's always 99 Designs. And then a bunch of people compete. They submit logos. And you can pick one and give them the $99. Some majority of it goes to them. And then, or you can be like, I want it refined. I want another round and another round.
Yeah.
And you can get, you can pay more and more.
Cool. If you're building a project right now and you're looking for some help, check out this post. It'll be in the show notes. The next one I wanted to share was, this was Meta. We'll save this one. The other one I want to share was the other Siggy posted. He specifically singled out Ego Death Capital, which I thought was kind of weird. But I think he was just more asking of how to invest in them, which I thought was another weird question because it's on Stacker News and not in their email inbox, which I was just wondering. And then he tagged me on it. And then Context came in and posted all the Bitcoin VC funds that you could invest in. And so I added these to Plebbook right away just to make sure we have all of them. And then I dropped a comment in here to kind of give him my 2 cents on everything. And I was just shilling the builder's territory, He asked me about Ego Death, so I did share that, we did have a meaningful conversation with Jeff Booth, and he's a well-respected VC in the space because he's built a startup, and there's very few of those. And then I also shared some posts on Thriller that I was that I've been researching on, and then I even shared a Stacker News post, which is one that you commented on a while back about on the investment side for startups, which I know you're very passionate about too, or not investment, but seeking investment. But yeah, check out all this stuff if you want to learn more about it, and check out the post there on Stacker News. A lot of good info, but I thought it was really interesting to see the stackers start asking questions around investing in funds.
Maybe Siggy wants to be an LP. I think it depends on the scale that Siggy wants to operate as an LP at, but I think people usually get their feet wet as in a syndicate, being part of the syndicate,
yep.
And then they kind of graduate to maybe more direct white glove experience as an LP, and a little more. Actually, it's more hands off in the case of being an LP in a fund. That's my understanding, at least. So I thought that was really interesting because you don't really see this kind of conversation on Stacker News. The other one was, this is the Meta. So some thoughts on my failed Stacker News recruitment effort. This is from Undisciplined. He seems pretty bummed about trying to recruit people. What do you think? You had any thoughts on this? Well, yeah, he was promoting Stacker News on Minds, trying to get people over from Minds because the kind of kernel of values is similar. And he said that Stacker News is just what the feedback he got was that their Stacker News was too Bitcoin focused, and that they liked free. They liked free things. They liked that engagement was cheap, and that people could give them engagement cheaply, and that they could get cheap engagement. And that's kind of what he's suggesting. He's like it's probably too early, or maybe maybe Bitcoin is just too big of a barrier. It's not exactly clear. I think he did a promotion on it on Minds.
I mean, you also see the same thing on Nostr, right? Like people will come on Nostr and they'll get welcomed by the Nostr community, and then right away they will post, "Oh, I didn't know this was a Bitcoin centric kind of conversation thing." And I think just Bitcoiners are just really passionate about Bitcoin, and they want to help as many people as they can, and all that kind of thing.
Someone to be into Bitcoin. asking him to jump into the deep end and really swim.
Yeah, totally. I also think too, just the. I think it's just more of a mindset change. That's just going to have to take time. I mean, because I do. People value, the engagement from, the tech space and like the Twitters and the Facebooks and the YouTubes. Like a lot of people truly, like.
They love seeing the number go up.
Yeah, even though, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe not a trustworthy number, but
No.
they don't. Their psychology doesn't know that, or they don't let their psychology know that.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Let's jump into what are we jumping into? Top stackers of the week.
I think there was another meta.
Oh, was there?
It was from Elvis. He talked about streaks. Got to say much on it. He just commented that he was kind of going off grid for a week and felt, was a little sad that he's probably going to lose his cowboy hat, and just found it interesting. I want to talk about.
Well,
Talk about that, but that's all.
Well, Coob, until he builds a general store.
You'll never be able to buy a cowboy hat.
There you go.
You might be able to buy other stuff at some point. But not a cowboy.
He's not
Cowboy
going to
hats are
change his.
for people who,
You can buy a Stacker News hat, but you can't buy a cowboy hat apparently.
yeah, you have to, it's a privilege, not a right.
I'm just gonna make this cowboy hat into a Stacker News hat. Just start wearing it.
You would.
No, I wouldn't. Top Cowboys or no top Stackers. Undisciplined. Undisciplined's been posting a lot.
Yeah.
He loves the Stacker News. Rsync legend, turning into a Stacker legend this cycle.
Yeah, he's been stacking a lot.
How long has he been stacking for?
Pretty early, not super early.
Oh, 23 February. Oh, okay. So a relatively new stacker. 0x Bitcoiner, also another legendary stacker. Nout. It's good to see Nout back.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
He started.
Hopefully we see you at in Nashville.
He started a territory, tutorial territory. He's been writing pretty awesome tutorials.
Cool. Get the top Cowboys, the most boring segment of Bitcoin. You're almost, so that just EK that basically is holding the top spot?
I do not think so. I think it's down further in the list. Looks like David's maintained his hat.
Oh.
Undisciplined has moved up there quite a bit.
Blockchain boop.
Blockchain
Blockchain
boo.
boop.
CC Stacker.
Blockchain
Jerry
boop. Jerry Garcia coming back. Literally. Cool. That's all of everything. Oh, Million Sat Madness real quick. Even though it's Million Sat Day. This is who's winning the day. Where am I at?
100,000 seconds.
I'm not in here. There you go. 33.
33.
It's about time.
Have you one post, 5 comments?
Dude, I've been busy today. That's what people are like, oh, Car doesn't comment. I got work to do. I wish I could just work on Stacker News Live all week. This is not the world we live in, Coop. Gotta have 15 jobs.
You do.
Just the way it rolls.
No jobs, like
The other, what else? Oh yeah. What are you gonna do this weekend? I want to pull up the comments.
what am I gonna do? Oh, there's a new. They released the second half of Bridgerton. So I'll probably watch it.
What is that?
Oh, Bridgerton is like, it's like, oh god, it's like set in like London, you know, back in like the 1700s or whatever, and it's like it was done by the woman who did Grey's Anatomy, but you know, it's like period piece, and that's a good show. I like it. I like I like shows with social dynamics in them. So like Survivor, I like.
Yeah.
And you know, specifically co-ed, where the dynamic is it's very it's like sort of an unstable dynamic in some ways. And so I like that also in fiction. Yeah. But how about you? What are you doing?
Yeah, I saw the Fatima movie this week. It was good. You should watch it. It was good. It was a good. Still trying to finish that book, the one that you gave me. Trying to finish that, and then I have another book that I'm reading. I've been reading a lot of books lately. Reading a lot of books.
That's why you're getting so smart.
No, I'm one of the dumbest people around. Really dumb.
Around.
Yeah, around here.
I don't know many other people who read 2 books.
I read a lot of books.
in a weekend.
Well, I use Audible. That's kind of cheating, but I can't. I need. I'm a visual guy. You know, I need to see the book in my head. If that makes any sense. Like I need to watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like I can listen to it and then visualize it in my head. But then if I read the book, it's just like not visually stimulating for me.
You can up into a book at times that it can actually be more stimulating to the visual mind.
Totally, especially if you have a creative imagination,
Yeah, that's kind of the whole
which I
thing.
do. Yeah.
And God, I mean, in some books I read, I'm just like there and in it.
Yeah, it's so cool, right?
Very like VR.
Yeah, totally. Totally know what you're saying. We got Blockchain Book said Zap from last week's episode. Vake, thumbs up. Thank you guys. And then we got Johnny Rico. Sup, dudes? What's up, dude? And then I'm gonna go to Zap stream because I think a lot of stackers are there asking questions. Let's see what they say. Are we? There we go, right here. Yeah, popular show Keyan. Let's see where are we at. Oh, hang on, I gotta go here. Let's see what they say. Oh, we got. Let's see here. Zappy Friday. Coop's audio's off. Fix it in post. Case study for checking comments during the stream. Then at the end, odd that they skipped the second and third top stories when doing a top 5. Yeah, sorry. This is what happens when you have. When you have Super Testnet in town, you got to stop the show. We don't get to see him too often. Totally was about Super B here. Oh, you're right. Blame Super Testnet for busting in and throwing off the show. Ha ha ha. There you go. See, they get it. The stackers get it. Coop. And Coop for sticking posts, and Car because he's the host. Oh, that was a rhyme. And then Undisciplined says, I blame everybody. Cool. Oh, 117 said, here comes the fun part where they read the comments. Yeah. Next time, ask questions. Yeah, it was a good show, Keyan. It's a good show.
Yeah, I'd like to think all
Oh, I should tell the stackers who are listening. We're going to be doing a live show in Nashville with a special guest who I won't say it is yet, but I'll post it on Stacker News here in the coming weeks. We need to get a venue. TBD.
If it's an Airbnb, I'm not going to go. We'll have a stand-in.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we'll announce it when we get closer to July. But if you're going to be in Nashville for the conference, then definitely stay tuned. Stay tuned. Oh, you're going to bring hats? Oh wow! So free Stacker News hats if you come to Stacker News.
So I might get
He'll get it to you for free. I'll guilt him to it. All right.
I need to let them know.
Okay. There you go. We'll see you later, stackers. Go out this weekend and find your way through this kind of doomer area that we're in. You know, and I think the best advice I ever got a long time ago when I first came into the Bitcoin space, it was from like I won't say an OG, but it was somebody who'd been around for a while. He said, "You know what, Car? You pushed a button." He goes, "You know what, Car? Stay in your lane," and that's what I continue to do. Just stay in my lane.
What's your lane? Which one?
Anyways.
Oh,